Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my February book haul. I was doing so well until I walked into a bookstore at the end of February, but you know what, that happens. As always, I'll go through this in sort of a semi-order. I will go through review copies that I have received and then I'm going to break it up into this month, young adult, middle grade, and also some reference books. The first section I'm going to go through are my review copies, so thank you very much to all of the publishers who sent these through. I'm very, very grateful to have received them. The first one being Vardasia by Lynette Noni, which is the fifth and final book in the Madoran Chronicles, although there is book 4.5, which is the novella collection. I have already read this book. I will leave a link on the screen to my review of the book, but thank you very much to Pantera Press for sending through the final story. I absolutely adored it and it was nice to wrap up this world and to have finished a series at the start of the year. I mean, how often does that happen? The next two books I received unsolicited from Bloomsbury, so thank you very much to them for sending it through to me. The first one is All the Invisible Things by Orla Collins. I did read one of her other books last year and I don't really know what this one is about, but I know that she generally writes contemporary young adult, so that'll be good fun to sort of see what it's like. Also, I really like this arc cover for some reason. It's nice. I like it. I like the colours. They also sent me We Are Blood and Thunder by Kessia Lupo, and this is a young adult fantasy book. Again, I'm just liking the aesthetic of this plain cover. I mean, it's very, very plain, but I just like it. And I don't actually know what this one is about either. Lena is running for her life after being convicted of a mage and sentenced to death. So again, we're going with sort of the hunted down because you have magic sort of trope, which is fine, and I look forward to reading this. And I apologise if I keep losing my voice. This is just getting really ridiculous and I've got a lot to film today, so please bear with me. Then finally I have the two books I requested from Alan Unwin. The first one is 52 Mondays by Anna Sidor, I think, and this is a middle grade historical book and I think it's based off Anna's life, which will be really cool to read. So I'm looking forward to reading this in middle grade March. And I also have Hunter by Jack Heath, which is the second book in the Timothy Blake series. His first book was Hangman, which I reviewed last year. This series follows Timothy Blake, who works as an FBI consultant, and he has a very dark secret. And the FBI are sort of working with him reluctantly. But I'm very much looking forward to the second installment of this one because it sounds like it's going to be creepy. Okay, the next books are all ones that I purchased. The first being A Writer's Notebook by Ralph Fletcher. I did talk about this in my most recent wrap up, and this is a reference book about the purpose behind having a notebook, especially for writers. And it was very informative, lots of good ideas, and I'm looking forward to sharing parts of this with my students. The next one is Notebook Know-How Strategies for the Writer's Notebook, which I haven't read yet. This one is by Amy Buckner and has a foreword by Ralph Fletcher, who wrote the previous book. And I am looking forward to diving into this one. It's very short. I should be able to get through it pretty quickly. Again, this is to help me with the Writer's Notebook program that I'm running in my classroom. I have two young adult books, mostly because I have not yet received my Fairy Loot box for the month, but I'm pretty sure I know what that book is. But the two young adult books I do have, the first one is Highway Bodies by Alison Evans. I got a chance to hear Alison speak at YA Day 2019. Alison very kindly signed my book for me and I'm looking forward to reading this one. And this one is about a zombie apocalypse and I haven't read one of those books for a while, so I'm very, very excited to dive into this. I also have Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye, which was in January's Fairy Loot box. And then I have a stack of middle grade. This is probably going to become a recurring theme this year as I am teaching sort of the younger end of this age bracket for the readership. And plus they're really quick and easy to read. And basically I have posted my middle grade March TBR, which is, you know, predominantly what I'm planning on reading. And I've just now added another pile of books to it because that's apparently what I do. So the first one I have is The Dog Runner by Bryn McDibble. She wrote How to Be last year, which won, I'm pretty sure won the CBCA awards last year. I think this has sort of a dystopian sort of feel to it. The next two books were total cover buys, so I can't actually tell you anything about them except that I realized after I bought them that all of the authors are Australian, just like Bryn McDibble. So the first one, and this cover is just stunning, is The Girl, the Cat and the Navigator by Matilda Woods, and the tagline on the back says, "It would without a doubt be an adventure," and she had always wanted to go on one of those. And I'm looking forward to picking this up. Just look at this cover, it's gorgeous. And then I have Catch a Falling Star by Meg McKinlay. And this one is a bit more historical. I think it's set in 1979. And it has something to do with Skylab falling out of the sky. I was always going to pick this one up because it's gorgeous and it has space references and it's middle grade. I lied, there is another young adult book. That is The Quiet at the End of the World by Lauren James. And I read The Loneliest Girl, Edge of the Universe last year and I really, really enjoyed that. And this is her new book. Again, it has a very aesthetically pleasing cover. And it's about two teenagers who are the youngest people on the planet after a virus causes global infertility. And I think it's set in London. Yes, London. And it's sort of about what they have to be willing to sacrifice or do to help the rest of humanity. I also picked up books 3 and 5 in the Lockwood & Co series by Jonathan Stroud. So the book 3 is The Hollow Boy. Book 5 is The Empty Chair. I am missing The Creeping Shadow, so I'll have to track that down, but my bookstore didn't have book 4, otherwise I would have bought that at the same time. I still have yet to read book 2, but I am planning on doing that next month, and I'm hoping that I will just sort of continue through these books. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Lockwood & Co follows a group of ghost hunters who also happen to be teens, and they are living in London and they run their own ghost hunting agency, Lockwood & Co. Most of the world knows that ghosts exist, and unfortunately the only people who can see or hear them are children. Adults can sort of sense the presence of them, but children can see and hear them and can actually help to banish them, because the ghosts in this world are quite malevolent. They can cause quite a bit of damage, and so people need to be able to get rid of them, but the only way they can do that is by utilizing children. So there's this really weird sense of, you know, we're putting children in danger to help protect ourselves, and I really love this series. It's great. The characters are awesome, and I highly recommend you check it out. I also have York Book 1, The Shadow Cipher by Laura Ruby. I should know this. I've talked about this book a couple of times. This is a really gorgeous hardcover edition with deckled edges, which I love. I don't know much about the story except that I keep seeing it everywhere and I really, really want to read it. It's sort of giving me steampunk vibes and that makes me so happy. Song for a Whale by Lynn Kelly. This is a middle grade book that focuses on 12-year-old Iris, who is really fantastic with technology, but people often treat her as not being intelligent or smart because she is deaf. And she is the only deaf child within her school, which makes it really hard. And then she finds out about a whale who hears sounds on a different frequency to all the other whales and is as a result quite isolated, and it's about her journey of trying to help this whale. And then finally I have another recommendation from Kirsty from Melbourne on my mind, and that is Murder Most Unladylike by Robin Stevens. I think it's about a secret detective agency for girls. In any case, I'm very, very intrigued to read this and just to have a whole lot of fun with some middle grade mysteries. Oh, that's not everything, but you know, that's a whole stack of books. In the comments below, let me know if you have read any of these books or if there are any books that you think I should start reading pretty quickly. In the comments, let me know what you have purchased in February and what you are very eager to start reading in the coming months. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.